Aren't you jealous of my green tea? The papers got stuck in the fax, and I'm like, let me get the contract.
Mega deals. Mega
Ooh,
deals.
mega deals. I'm doing 2 mega deals right now.
Yeah.
How do I get into like people's living rooms? Like literally, how do I get into like their apartments? Or like, there's only one way. In reality TV at the time, it felt like electrifying. I learned that the more myself I am, the more business I get. Which you would think, in my case, being me, being a big golden doodle that I am, you would think that would be like the opposite. I had no Rolodex. I didn't know a single soul in New York, basically. But most importantly, I didn't have any clients, I was trying to like understand what was going on in my life, but I also didn't want to return back to Sweden as a failure. I had to succeed.
Good morning. We are here with Fredrik Eklund, the #1 broker in America. He sold nearly $30 billion in his career, over 140 buildings sold out. He was a star on $1 Million Listing, and he's here in Miami. We're happy to have you. Fred, welcome to The Long Game.
Thank you, James. Good to be here.
You moved from Sweden.
Yeah.
People don't know this. I didn't know this, but you actually founded a company in the early days when you were in your early 20s.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had a regular job, I always say. I never had a salary. I mean, I think I had a salary by the hour when I was working at the amusement park in Stockholm when I was a kid. And I was chopping onions in like a restaurant in the kitchen by the hour. And then when I first moved to New York, I was handing out paninis, it was called, these little sandwiches outside David Letterman for like $15, $20 an hour.
Wow.
So I've had regular jobs, but almost my entire life I've been selling my ideas and being an entrepreneur, started companies, many failed, some succeeded, tried a lot of different things. And I got into Stockholm School of Economics, which is a very good school in Sweden, the best, I would say. Very hard to get in. And I was like, this is so boring. I couldn't sit still.
Right.
Statistics classes and like these huge books we had to read, and
None of it that we use today in anything in college. We don't use
I don't
in our
think
daily
so
life.
anymore.
Yeah.
But it was a beautiful school, architecturally like significant, and we were sitting in this big, beautiful room with 40-foot ceilings, and glass looking out on the park, and I was looking out the window, and all I can think about, like, I want to start living.
Yeah.
I have 4 years of this. I want to start a company. So, the tech bubble at the time, because it really was a bubble, 98, 99, started actually in Scandinavia.
Yeah.
Ericsson, Nokia, that led to a bunch of other startups. And long story short, me and Maria, my business partner at the time, we started a software company called Humany, with a Y, humany.com. And I became, unknowingly at the time, like the poster child for that. We went to Paris to get venture capital. We like built this like 3-story beautiful office in Old Town. And basically, the company had 3 legs. One was these communities that were growing online. This was basically social media before social media. They were called communities.
Yeah.
And we were like, one day there's going to be these like social networks. That was one leg. The other one was kind of like a Salesforce, CRM systems. And the third one, maybe the most important for this discussion, was this bot called Maya.
Okay.
And it was a girl, obviously. She looked really cool. And you could chat with her. And, obviously we were way ahead of our time.
You were way ahead. Now we're talking about agents and chatbots, and that's the big thing.
Yeah. And, at the time, we didn't have the big language models. So what we did, which is quite hilarious, was that we basically got her. We had some, like, language understanding, very basic. But we sat there and, like, pre-programmed the answers to actual questions. And then whenever she couldn't answer, they went into a queue, and we answered them every night. But, over time, like a month or two, she became very good, especially like customer service questions, like what's the phone number? And we started selling her to the big companies in Sweden as part of a website, because we learned back then, 98, 99, that people would start transact on the internet, but people felt very alone. It was like you went to a grocery store, and when you come to the cash register, there was nobody there. And the irony, we have that now, of course, on the airports. There's no one there. You have to check out yourself.
Right.
But back then, it was like the human element was missing on the internet. And Maya, kind of like bridged that gap, research said. And yeah, it was a lot to be that young. I was on every like cover of every magazine, and
So from an early age, you had this charismatic.
it was good trainings. That like we failed in the end, and I actually ended up being very stressful for me being that young, having almost 50 employees, and I was the youngest person in my own company, and we ran out of money, and we had to raise more money, and I got out of the company, sold it without any big,
issues.
yeah. So I see that not as a failure. I see it as a success because I learned. I became a true entrepreneur, and everything. I mean, that comes with that.
Yeah.
And I devoted like so many years of my younger adult life to that startup.
So Fred, you've had this entrepreneurial spirit since you were young.
Yep.
You also have had a charismatic and a magnetic personality.
I do?
That we all enjoy, and people love your presence, your energy, and it sounds like you had that from a young age. So you had this internet company that you learned. It's a young age. You were trying things out,
Yeah.
and 50 employees at
I mean, I
in your
was
early
very
20s.
brave if you look at it. Like, isn't that always when we start a new thing, we get kind of obsessive about it. At least I am so goal oriented and like, yeah, I'm gonna take over the world, like a little bit hybris. And then, looking back at all of those ventures, would I have done it if I knew how hard it was? I mean, that's, I think, the strength of a true entrepreneur, that there is like, you have these like, the vision is very like laser. You have a lot of bravery. You don't think about how bad it could go or like how difficult it can be. So it's a strength, but obviously it's a weakness in a sense that you learn as older you get. Like now I can see when a new opportunity is presented to me, I can I can do that, but I have the family.
Yeah.
And I have this, and I could go travel, or I could write a book. Like you have a little bit of knowledge that it's very difficult to start companies.
That comes with that experience, and you've applied that. You've grown tremendously. You're known worldwide.
Aren't you jealous of my green tea?
When Kayla brought it in, I said, "Wow, Fred's gonna drink all of that?
It's
Is there sugar in that?"
I think there's sugar, but sugar is a little bit good. My daughter tells me sugar is very important to
Yeah, I've seen your
to
abs
consume.
recently. You need to eat a couple meals.
Okay. This is actually 6 scoops of green tea matcha. So in my world, maybe this is like a self-constructed thing. It's very high in antioxidants, and it's
Yeah.
it's super clean, and like I've always had one per day.
We
Maybe that's
do-
my secret success.
I do a green tea nightly before bed. Antioxidants on the health.
Well, this is like strong.
That looks very strong. I might have to try that. Let's talk about real estate
Yes.
in New York.
Yes, please.
And how long were you working in real estate before you went on $1 Million Listing? And then what made you go on $1 Million Listing, and what was the audition like?
Wow. Let me rewind my tapes in my head. No, I mean, I came to New York, right? I started real estate. I did well. Like I was nominated for Rookie of the Year my first year.
Where were you at a brokerage? Were you?
I was at a small brokerage called Jason De Niro, Robert De Niro's uncle. And we were like 6 agents. I had no Rolodex. I didn't know a single soul in New York, basically. A couple of friends.
What year was this?
2003, maybe.
Okay.
I spoke English, of course, because we learned that in Sweden since we're 9, but not business English. And all these like words, escrow, it was a lot of like uphill for me there. But most importantly, I didn't have any clients, So I sat there and was trying to like understand what was going on in my life, but I also didn't want to return back to Sweden as a failure. I had to succeed. I was talk about that laser focus vision I had of myself, and I wanted to make it in New York. I hadn't figured out like how this was all going to happen. But long story short, after a few years, And I was starting to get into new development or trying to put myself on the other side of new development. I was trying to, instead of just bringing buyers to these developments, I wanted to like get introduced to people like yourself, developers, and try to understand how to really the process of having a site, programming the site, positioning all the way to sellout, because that to me was more exciting. And then I figured, well, even if I do that, I can't be that successful anyway because I'm not from here. I don't know the people. Like I got to get something else.
Who were your first clients? Who do you remember?
Development?
Sales, like Dina remembers her first transaction. She was on the show.
Of course.
Who was your first sale?
Our first transaction
was it a
as
sale?
agents,
Yeah.
that's like
Friends,
our first kiss or our first like.
You always remember. Yeah, you
our
lose your
first
virginity.
child. I'm still a virgin. Just want to put that out there. My first deal was, oh my God, I've spoken about this so many times. We had floor time, floor time as agents. We had to like work the floor.
Okay.
But there was nobody coming into this little office in West Chelsea, New York.
Yeah.
And I was sitting, I had floor time. I was like, what am I going to do? I need money. I need a client. I need to transact. I'm not a real estate agent. I've never done a deal. You know what the hell? So then eventually I was like, I'm going to walk out on the streets. Like the floor is, so.
Yeah.
Go
meet people.
Yeah, there was an older gentleman that was standing there, like kind of looking in, glancing into our window. So I had to chat with him. And I'm like, what can I help you with? And anyway, he had an apartment that he was thinking of maybe selling around the corner.
Yeah.
So I kind of invited myself in, and I convinced him to sell 525,000. I think that little 2-bedroom was 365 West 20th. See, we don't forget these things. Teresa was the girl, my first kiss in Stockholm under a tree in the rain. I'll never forget that either. Anywho, I went to IKEA. I painted an apartment myself. I got some staging, like I did.
Yeah.
It was very important to me, and there was a bidding war in the end. And I mean, New York was undervalued, and I was lucky because I got into real estate right when it was sort of taking off.
Yeah.
So in my, I did well, but I was also like I had some luck, right?
Right. Timing. In real estate, we say location, location, location. We also say timing, timing, timing. So
Totally, it's all about
great
timing.
timing.
Anyway, I remember that check. I think it was 16,000 and change when it closed. And at the time, like, I was hooked. I was like, this is actually really fun. That transaction was really fun because of bidding war, multiple offers, like.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I'm really good. I'm really good at this.
So that was the start, and you billions sold throughout your career now. So that was the beginning. And then you mentioned you started working on new developments. You said, how do I help these developers sell what you're doing, now in New York and around the world and here in Miami and we're, doing together. When did you get the call did you see an ad for $1 Million Listing?
No.
They reached out to you?
I was going to get to that. So I started a new development, right? But then I was like, there's one more thing. How do I get into like people's living rooms? Like literally, how do I get into like their apartments or there's only one way. In reality TV at the time, I mean, today it's quite different. It's saturated. It's like, it's an art form almost now. Like, everybody, but at the time it felt like electrifying because these people, including myself at the time that got on it, we were not rehearsed. We did not know, like it was different.
Yeah.
We hadn't even I had never watched the format myself.
No.
So I actually approached them. That's, I think, is the difference. Right or wrong, I was like, I put together a little pilot called the $1 Billion Broker. I had not sold $1 billion.
I love that.
But it's a good name, right?
Yeah, it's
the $1 Billion Broker.
Yeah.
My big ego at the time, and I paid my friend $10,000 or something. Used that $16,000 check. I paid my friend.
You reinvested in yourself.
Yeah. And he did a little sizzle pilot, and I was like flying a helicopter and fighting with my team, and I thought the things that people want to see, because people want to see friction. So there was some of that. And then my brother flew into New York because he's in that more TV space, and he pitched it to Andy Cohen. I was told I was not supposed to be in the room for some reason. And then Andy and the executives at the end were like, so where's Fredrik? And they were like, oh, he's not here. But, anyway, long story short, they did not like a $1 billion broker. They laughed and they said, this Fredrik guy is great. And when we were ready to do something, real estate in New York, which we're looking at that space right now, we will call you or him. So for me, it was a big failure. Like I felt like, oh my God, okay, it's not going to happen for me. I thought that
It was a timing thing. It was
a timing. But then to answer your question, then like 3 years later, they called.
So it was 3 years since from the time you pitched to
2 maybe. I was in Mykonos. It was the day or the day after I met Derek. And the contract came in on that old Greek hotel fax. And like the papers got stuck in the fax. And I'm like, let me get the contract. And yeah, all of a sudden it just happened. But I never auditioned. The other guys did. I was sort of in their mind. And they sort of had me picked already.
You were a key member. You were the anchor for the show. And who else was on it?
You say that. I don't say that. You said that.
In the early days. In the early days, who else? Who?
Michael Lorber and Ryan Serhant, the 3 of us.
Okay.
It was, I'm so grateful. It was such a beautiful time. In my life, I'm hoping in their life, in New York, journey, story, because we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. And I think, I know everybody told me, like, don't do it. Don't. That's bad. Like, you don't want to, like, there's certain parts of real estate, many parts, shouldn't show on TV.
Yeah.
That's what I was told.
Right.
Even my parents were like, I felt like I had nothing to lose, and that I'm like an open book, and like,
it's scary opening yourself up and
Not
sharing
really.
the secrets.
Not really.
For me, it was when I went public with my social media account for the first time, and now maybe to people listening, they might say that doesn't sound like it because we've grown and have a podcast now, and we're doing so much social media. And it's very important for people to see the process. So you guys pioneered that.
Yeah, and I'm not discounting what you're saying, but now it's 2026, and we're sitting here like,
Of course.
editing and microphones, and like, they were just following us around, and we didn't have anyone to look at. I had never watched the LA version. In their, like, they were the real pioneers. We came 2 years after.
Yeah.
So I didn't really do my homework either. Pitching something, want to be on something that I didn't even know what it was. And I didn't know at the time that it was going to be a little like catty or like a little bit like, but then I got into it very quickly because I realized, in real time, that's what people want to see. If everyone's in agreement, it's not so exciting. And I have a tendency to not be in agreement with people, so I guess I was good at that.
And from the first episode, and you filmed 10 years?
11 years,
11
150 episodes. Yeah, that's a lot.
150 episodes.
And every season is like it was nine months. It became repetitive after a little while. And this is not me trying to say in any way I'm above it or anything. It was actually incredible. Like it was I grew so much from it personally because it was like elevated therapy in some way. Like I was acting out my feelings, watching it, which is hard.
Yeah.
Very self-critical, like we all are. And I was like, that's an ugly side. Like I don't want to be that guy. And then you learn from it. So it's a tough way of like growing up. But then my business, of course, like I always say that was the engine.
So the exposure really helped put you in people's living rooms on their phones.
I got a listing every day. Somebody just called.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to I still don't have a business card to this day. Like, that's not trying to say that I'm well known or anything. This is how the show was incredible for business. I don't even think Bravo would know because at the time, like later when we were negotiating contracts, there was discussions of them like taking a piece of real estate. Like I think everybody understood at the time that format particularly was incredible for our business. So I'm very grateful to it. Most of all, I'm grateful to New York because this was a time in New York, 2010 when we started filming. It didn't air until 2012. When I quit 2022. Those years were like magic for real estate.
Yeah.
And I think you can see that. One day I'm going to rewatch all of it. I have not ever rewatched anything.
Kayla has to rewatch it with you. We were talking
Yeah.
about that.
Like the love that I have for the city.
Yeah.
And the kookiness and craziness of myself running around and doing crazy shit in New York. That was magical. I loved filming. I didn't like to watch it, but I loved filming.
What were some of your first big projects, new developments in New York that you started landing and started selling out? And what put Fredrik Eklund on the map? And it sounds like there was you had a lot going on and you were working your way up. Was there a particular project where you said you won the listing, you got the developer to hire Fredrik, and you said, okay, this is the one that I've always wanted, and you sold it out and did a great job, and that was, and there's probably now over 100 buildings
Yeah.
later.
I feel like
it's
that
tough
by every building. I feel like guys, you heard it here first. We're doing a building together. Woo! So you know the green tea is kicking.
Yes.
You want some?
Yeah. Now I do.
No, you know what it is? Like, it's such a boring answer to a great question. Thank you very much. But I love all my buildings. It's like my kids, It doesn't have to be the most expensive. It doesn't have to be the biggest. It can just, because as long as I can be part of it very early on, like super early, sometimes before the architect is picked. That's my job a lot, to pick the interior designer, the architect. I do all the floor plans. I do the sales galleries. I do the amenities. I sit on every construction and design meeting. We're just starting to work together,
Yeah.
so you're going to see how bossy I am.
This isn't a pitch for Fredrik, but Friday afternoon, this past Friday, you were sitting. We were talking with your team, going room by room through the floor plans, and you guys had excellent recommendations where to move this, where to move that, and so Fredrik is involved in the process. It's not like we just hire Fredrik and we never see him.
Well, I think I might not be the best resale broker. There's a lot, but I am the best new development agent. There is no other agent that has more experience in new development than I.
Right.
That has to do with age and experience and the sheer number of buildings, but also the different locations. And that I think is important. Like a building in New York is going to be very different than one in LA or Austin or Miami or Fort Lauderdale for that matter. I've done them all. So that creates a strength of like not only trends, nationwide and international design trends, but also the contrast between these cities and what buyers, the sophisticated buyer wants. So it created sort of it comes very natural, and I'm super into it after all these years. I'm not so into like listing an apartment, doing an open house, and staging it or selling it. Like I do that, we do that very well, but it's not like where I'm in my element.
You want the biggest, like your personality. You want the biggest, the best projects.
No, I mean I want the ones that I can make.
Well, you've
where
said
I can
that.
put my paws on.
Yeah. Wow.
How is that again? That was a strange cat. What kind of animal is that?
That was a cat. That was a Fredrik cat.
I think I'm more like a puppy than a cat.
A puppy.
I'm glad we cleared that.
Do you have dogs?
Oh my God, I was just talking about him this morning. I'm so obsessed with him. When I travel, I miss him more than the kids. His name is Cash. He's a 75-pound golden doodle, and he's like anyone's ever met him? See, I get like emotional talking about him. Anyone who's ever met Cash is obsessed with him.
Yeah. Dogs, they're special.
I like dogs more than people.
Yeah.
People are weird. People have an agenda, and they're like sneaky sometimes, and they don't. I really love dogs.
Me too. We have 2 dogs, and
What kind of dog?
So you have a big dog. I have a small.
You are the big dog.
Thank you. I am. We're up and coming, but I have a small dog, a 2.8 pound.
What?
Yeah.
2.8.
Yeah.
That's like less than this.
Yeah. White Yorkie.
Okay.
And
interesting.
She's very special. Her name's Winnie.
What is her name?
Winnie.
Winnie.
Okay. When I was in New York, and I was dating a girl previously. She had a Yorkie, Oliver. He was a 3-pound Yorkie, and then we split up. She took her dog, and I was lonely.
So you slept with Winnie?
Yeah. So then I got Winnie here in Florida. I flew down from New York, and I got Winnie,
Why don't you bring her to meetings? Like she can sit there.
She used to come to meetings.
Really?
Yeah.
Like sit on the conference table.
She used to sit on my desk.
Oh,
She would sit on my desk. Yeah.
What a girl.
Yeah. She's a little.
Maybe
she's a girl.
Winnie and Cash could have babies.
She's too small. She's too small.
I mean, you know, love is blind. You don't know.
That
Winnie
is-
and
that
Cash.
is
It's
true.
a winning formula. Okay.
Yes. So
God, this
you're selling out buildings.
this green tea is making me giggly.
Oh, we knew Fredrik would be fun to have on the
Oh
long game.
shit.
And okay, so New York,
Yeah.
$1 million listing.
Yeah.
You become the biggest, most well-known agent in the world. You know, you're up there.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it is with that show, too. The last thing I'll say about it is I liked it so much because a lot of people thought I was hilarious. That's just me. Even my producer were like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Like, it was not, nobody ever told me to do crazy things. If anything, they're like, "Be careful, like, are you sure?"
Yeah.
So a lot of the things I did, Howard Lorber was like, "You're the only one that can get away with this stuff." Like, I don't know how you do it, but I learned that the more myself I am, the more business I get. Which you would think, in my case, being me, being a big golden doodle that I am, you would
Yeah.
think that would be like the opposite. So I just went with it, and it was really great for a long time, and I'm so grateful to it. And I'm grateful to the boys and the girls that we filmed with, everybody. I'm mostly like thankful to the producer. We were the same team. Like my executive producer, my cameraman, my audio ninja were the same guys for 11 years.
So you
We were
built
like a family. I spent more time with
family.
them than my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
It was so fun. We went to London, we went to Paris, we went to, I don't even know where we went, all the islands in the Caribbean. We went everywhere and filmed everywhere. And, you know, the dinners after, the breakfast, like, they're some of my best people in the world. Yeah, it was great.
That sounds
And
like an
nobody
incredible
has
journey.
that experience. If you talk to the housewives, or like, it's kind of dark, to be honest with you. A lot of these formats are a little like, I think we got the best of it, and thank God for it.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. You had a great 11-year run.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Eklund Gomes.
Yes.
You have a business partner,
Yeah,
John Gomes.
John.
He
He called me on the
he's in
way
New York.
here. He's like, "Tell me about last night. I want to hear about the success." 'Cause
Cove,
we had a
we'll talk
party.
about that. You had
Okay.
an amazing launch party. When did you decide to start a team? And how did someone say, let's partner and
Yeah,
let's be
it's very
partners? How
hard.
did that work? Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody knows having a business partner is the most amazing thing if you find the right person. And that if is like a big one because it's virtually impossible. I feel like we won the lottery, both of us, but it hasn't been without its like fights and breakups and not daily friction, weekly friction. You know, like because if a real business partner needs to be like a mirror, and it needs to be somebody that you can bounce off, but also like they can tell you you're crazy and I don't like this about you. And you have to not only grow professionally together, but like personally, because it's I always say it's a marathon. It's not like there's a lot of teams and a lot of agents that come 2 years, they have 3 or 5 or 10 years and then disappear. We've been consistently together at the top now for over 20 years.
Was John in your brokerage? Were you guys doing deals together?
No.
How did the
He
relationship
was at
come
another
together?
firm. He was actually at Element when I was at another firm called Core with Sean Osher, and I did my
know
first
Sean.
building.
Yeah.
You know Sean?
Yeah.
I'm very grateful to Sean.
South
Hi,
African.
Sean.
Yeah.
Because he taught me floor plans. Like my brain like developed a lot with him, watching him in the room draw up floor plans. It's an art. It's a skill that I inherited. But yeah, John was selling a few units in that building for me. I was a sales director, my first building, Onyx Chelsea, that I did for Sean. And yeah, we started becoming friends. And then he proposed to me, like, I want to be your partner. Because he saw how much business I had, and I couldn't even handle it myself, and he had no business. he was like, hopefully he'll listen to this. He was rollerblading, skating, whatever it's called, like the streets of New York. On the weekends, they went to Fire Island, and he had no business. So he was like, let's partner up. I'm like,
It's a good deal for him.
no, it was
Fredrik,
actually better for me because
he could help you.
I didn't have a family here. I was lonely, in New York. I was dedicating like all my hours to real estate, and he became my family. And then I knew you were going to ask about the team and why we were successful for that long. One reason, I think the one reason is that we built this family, because that is, what did they say? Blood is thicker than water. No, what did they say?
Yeah, that's blood is thicker than water.
Okay. I'm Swedish, so I can get away with. No, I mean the family part of our team is hard to break. It's hard to compete with that. It's like
connection,
invisible,
yeah.
like legacy, kind of like love that we have for each other. I mean, maybe we say it too much, and maybe people think it's tacky or, I don't know, hollow. But I really believe that. Like, we don't work together because we want to make more money. We work together because it's more fun.
Yeah.
And the highs are really high, lows are low, but together, it's worth it.
And how did you guys start building the team?
Yeah.
Were you at Element at the time or somewhere else?
When the news broke about $1 Million Listing in New York, there was a big article. Oof, yeah, it was very stressful. I had to leave because I couldn't do a TV show at the place where I was. They wouldn't allow it. And Element wouldn't hire me because I was a hot potato. Like, okay, this show, it was a new concept. Like, where would you land it? Like, now it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
but
it makes a ton of
remember,
sense.
everyone's like, that's going to expose XYZ that we don't. Anywho, the story goes that we landed at Element, and we sat in a basement. We had like two desks, and we started the team.
And how many agents do you have today?
I think we have just over 100 people today. It fluctuates a little bit because also I think I have 8 people on staff, salaries, and the rest are agents. So maybe like 93 agents then.
And you and John decided to build a team, build a mega team.
Well, it's actually called Enterprise now. I just learned
Enterprise.
from the rankings.
An enterprise. Within Element, rather than go the other direction of starting the Fredrik Eklund brokerage, and that comes with a lot of.
Let me ask you, because I think you're a good person to answer this. Why do you think I didn't start my own company. Why do you think that we didn't do what a lot of the other people at our level would do?
And you've talked about this. You have the support of Element, national brand. You have a partnership with Knight Frank in Europe. So
optional, yeah.
Optional. You guys are selling. You're some of the best salespeople in the world.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to do. Building an organization has many challenges.
Yeah.
Building a brokerage. And from what I know about you is you want to sell. You want to sell. You want to sell out. You want to sell fast. You want to break records. And that's what you do. So, you have this Element behind you. You have a marketing machine. They do your marketing internally. They really take care of you.
You've been studying this.
I listen. And
you see everything. No, I think, it's a lot about that. But I also think, going back to the new development, remember what I said about my paws? Meow. That sound you made?
Wow.
Yeah. I want to change things. Like, I don't look at my agents like cash registers or like I don't even look at the real estate we do anymore as transactions and commissions. Like, that was 10 years ago. Now, it's the creative process and the team, the family. I can't do that if I have 1,000 agents. I mean, it's already hard now. That's why I said, like, how many are we? You're like, I think we hired 2 people last week.
Yeah.
I don't like that. So I want to be the best. You can't be the best in real estate if you have more agents than what I have. I want to be sitting into every meeting or do a Zoom at least with every development weekly. You can't do that if you have more buildings. There's a limit if you want quality.
Yeah.
And all power to anybody who started their own company, but that's a different thing. Then
it's very different.
I'm still the number one in new development. That's just how it is. And with the resale business for our agents, like, what excites me is to lift them up and work with them and inspire them. And like, remember I told you I sat by myself with these long legs in Chelsea, 2003, and didn't have a single client. But there was something about me, obviously, that was like ready to, not meow,
ready to pounce.
So that, like, there's a lot of people like myself that come from all over the world to New York to make it, and who's going to give them a chance? I'm not saying call me and I'll hire anybody, but that excites me. And we have so many superstars that started like 2 years ago and make, if that's important to you, if that's your driving force, over $2 million a year in commission, like their second year with us. That's incredible.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What is the criteria for an agent, top agent, who wants to join the Eklund Gomes team? What are you looking for? Do they have to be at the top? Does it have to be something special about them? And culture is always important when you're hiring and building a team. So I'm sure that's a factor.
We don't want anybody from the top. I mean, why? Once again, I think the most exciting is someone who's like up and coming, that has like hit there, or like they belong to another team, but they don't feel like the team leader are letting them grow. So we like, and then it's, of course, it's culture. It's like, do we like each other? Do we have fun together? We travel together, the whole team. Believe it or not, it's expensive, but we do it.
You have a CEO. You have a CEO.
Yeah, Julia Spillman, who's incredible. She runs sort of the operations with Susie, who's the COO. We have female, women executives throughout Eklund Gomes. We chose that consciousness. Like, we really wanted female leadership. It's very important to me, and it's proven to be the right thing.
Yeah.
I posted about it yesterday, was it, for my little video about Women's History Month, and so we have, like, it's a real company within a company. It's a hybrid model, I would say. We're very much our own. We have our own website, we have our own brand, we have our own PR, we have our own graphics, we have our own everything, really. But we work so closely with the company, especially in the new development platform. Like, we have people on staff by them that only work on our project. It's a perfect collaboration. And once again, I'm not bragging, because it took a long time to develop that. There was a lot of friction between us and the company, I can say, at some points. Because, like, is this an Eklund Gomes building? Is this a Douglas Elliman building? Are they pitching the same developer? We're above and
you've worked that out.
Yeah,
worked that out with Jay Parker
great.
And the team.
Yeah, and we know them so well because we've been there now for, what is it, like 15 years or something?
Yeah.
And I couldn't do what I do without them, and they take care of us really well. Yeah. So I feel like, going back to my balance that we started off, my life balance, my kids, the bigger picture, all the things we talked about, I would lose all of that if I was on my own.
Yeah.
Because it would just be like, every hour counts. And that's why I think kids are so amazing, if you think about them the right way, because they are everything, and they help you become more successful, because you know what's going to suck up your time, and they make you more focused for what's real, for what's worth something, for what's eternal in many ways.
Yeah, I know my wife Brooke and I and Roman, our son, and our 2 dogs, I feel grounded every day. I wake up thankful, and I know that sounds
a little more tired, no? And then Winnie comes and licks you, and you're like,
she comes down, and I give her a treat in the morning. That's our thing. When we wake up, and then she goes back up to bed with my wife. Hey guys, my firm Prosper Group is a Miami-based real estate development firm focused on ultra luxury waterfront and prime properties here in South Florida. We source off-market real estate, and we handle everything from acquisition, design, through construction and sales. If you are an accredited investor and you want to learn more about how we work and how to invest with us, go to prospergroup.com/invest and book a discovery call. Let's talk about the market. Let's talk about Miami. Let's talk about Florida.
Yeah.
And what brought you down here? I'm sure, like a lot of us, I moved down from New York in 2020. Wow. How's the change been? When did you decide to make the move?
Well, first of all, I'm a difficult guy to put in a corner somewhere. Many people have tried. No, I mean, when I started spending more time in in LA, and had a house there, I was still going back and forth. I did both shows. I did LA show and New York show, and everyone's like, "Oh, Fredrik left New York." John, my business partner, we're 50-50. He was in New York. We had a team of 50 people. And as you can tell, I get a little bit defensive on this subject, because then everyone's like, "Oh, he's moved to Miami." No, I moved to LA to start our team there. I moved to Miami to build our team in new development.
Yeah.
I have an apartment in New York. We have a house in Connecticut. I spend maybe you know, I'm everywhere all at once. That movie, you know that movie? Everywhere all at once. Isn't that a movie?
I don't know that movie.
A24 that won all the Oscars 2 years ago. Anywho, that's very much me. So I don't live here fully. I go back and forth. I live on airplanes. And that's not a weakness. This is why I get defensive, because people don't understand. It's an amazing thing.
Right.
If you hire me, that's actually a good thing.
I'm sure for tax purposes you live here. That
Yeah.
would be a smart thing.
Yes, but for the purpose of selling new development
Yeah.
or selling Miami as a market, do you want a local broker or do you want somebody who knows the national buyer or trends and international? That's why Dina and I, because we talked about her before the cameras came on, work so well together and have done great things together because she's hyper local and she's super confident in saying that, and I love her for it, and it makes a lot of sense in the single family market. For the new development and for the volume product that we do, developers need something very different. And together, of course, we're super strong. That's why you like to work together. Plus, I really like her. She's a firecracker, but they say that about me too. We're like two cartoons. Yeah.
Mega deals. Mega
Ooh,
deals.
mega deals. I'm doing 2 mega deals right now.
Let's talk about the Shore Club
mega.
penthouse.
What? I can't talk about any of that.
It's in the news.
No.
No?
Well, even if it was in news, it didn't come from me. I can't talk about any of that.
You can't, no? $120 million penthouse at the Shore Club sale?
No comment. Cannot say anything.
Okay.
But what I can say is that I bought an apartment in Shore Club. I was the first or second contracts to sign there. Dina actually sold it to me. She was on the project at the time. Then
She was on the project.
Yeah, in the very beginning. Then I took her spot after her, which was really nice. Once again, we do a lot of business together. So I called her. I'm like, okay, I have to buy this building.
Yeah.
This was before I knew I was going to work on it. What's the best unit? And she's like, I don't even know. I haven't even looked at the floor. It was so early. She's like, I'm studying the floor plans now. I think this one.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
She's like, shouldn't we negotiate? Like, no, I'm going to pay full ask. I did not even, I swear to God, true story, Fredrik Eklund, I didn't look at the contract. I just signed it.
Wow. Okay.
I've never done that before, ever.
Yeah. So you loved it. You loved
No,
the
I
beach.
knew in my heart,
Yeah.
because it's Witkoff, it's Robert Ames Stern. I've always wanted to own one in his collection, and it was oceanfront, and I just felt like what's happening to the beach, the Billionaire's Beach. And then working on it and selling those big price points, let's say it like that, and seeing the records that we set every day. And by the way, there was a big sales team, Bill and Brian, Devin towards the end, Norma Jean, who's the queen of queens when it comes to real estate. I can't take credit for a lot of the things. And of course, Alex Witkoff, who's a genius when it comes to creating buildings, I think. Tough, but genius. We were a great, that was a great time. And it was it is the most expensive project ever sold in Miami to this day.
That's great. That's great. And so you mentioned you're working on some mega deals.
Yes.
What can you, and
I
I'm
think
sure
one
they're
for
they're confidential.
125 million
What kind of
is
property is
getting
that?
signed today in New York.
In New York, a penthouse.
Mike, you'll read about it soon.
Okay. Okay. And what are these you've represented celebrities, business moguls, what are they looking for in today's market?
Well, it depends who they are. That's so hard. I mean, people look for, it depends where they come from. If they come from LA, they are obsessed with land. That's why a lot of the latest people you've read about, the billionaires, quote unquote, are buying Indian Creek or Coconut Grove. Like they want
Space.
acres. Yeah. I showed my Palm compound, which is 150 million, give or take, 3 mansions on Palm here on Monday to a billionaire from California. That would,
From California.
yeah, he would.
Tech?
Let's just say he's a billionaire.
Okay.
He would live in one. Actually, this is a funny story. He would tear 2 down,
Okay.
build something new, have his crew. I said, what do you mean by crew? Live in one, and then he would live on his yacht.
Okay.
So they are very focused on land, right?
Yeah.
And if they're from New York, it's different. And that's why Shore Club had a lot of New York whales, I'll call them, because they're looking for like legacy for that's going to be quality for 20, 30 years. The New York mindset is a little bit different. They're looking for like that it building that's going to stay, and that's why Robert A. Stern is so great, because they have a trust, credibility, they have a real following to 20 Central Park South, 15 Central Park West, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
The Miami buyers or the international buyers buying in Miami, it's more of a feeling, like, you know, like the lifestyle, the sunshine, the restaurants, which is great. But so they are into. So it depends. Like when you say what are they looking for, it really depends. You know, who they are,
Who they are.
or where they're from.
Yeah. They have different
My job is to
preferences.
kind of like, we have a building, we have a site. I have to 5 years in advance, sometimes 7 years in advance, see the trends and who is the ideal buyer, who's going to pay the most for this particular site. Is it small apartments, big apartments? Is it a flag? Is it colorful interiors? Is it white, black, stark? You know, like these, what are the amenities in 5 years? How do we activate those amenities? Like all of those things is why I'm hired, to like figure that out and hopefully be like,
That's right. And I hear you say all the time, and you do, you love setting records. You said, let's set records. What do you think it is about your approach?
my childhood, my broken. No, it's just, I didn't know. I mean, what?
Yeah,
what, my frail ego. Why would somebody want to set records?
It
what is
pushes
it?
people up, and you're able to win and sign the biggest contract. at
I'm
the
very
highest
competitive,
prices.
yeah.
Yeah. I think competitive drive, of course, and to be ultra successful, you have to have a competitive drive. So you have
Yeah.
this from an early age. Do you have siblings? You said your brother.
Yeah, I have a brother who's very different, but we're best friends. He lives in New York. He is, ironically, has the #1 podcast in Scandinavia for the last 12 years. Every single person in Sweden listens to his podcast
Yeah.
every Friday.
Wow.
He's won every award. Like he does these shows where he sits like this and
Yeah.
it's like sold out arenas. And I think maybe that's why my resistance to the podcast
yeah.
format
We talked about it a little
is
bit.
like, because he does it so well, and it's like, but he doesn't film it. He just, it's just his voice.
They talk. It's his voice. And you're a big art buyer, investor. You
Yeah.
post about it a lot. You're really excited about buying,
Yeah.
investing, owning art. How did you get into the art world?
You know, art, is it art or is it fart? No, I think for me in the beginning, let's be honest, because here I am with my friend and we're having green tea and telling the truth. I think it was a little buying class for me in the beginning. You know, because it's not that I'm classless, but you know, and when I say I grew up in the suburbs of Stockholm, that sounds like maybe fancy for Americans.
Yeah.
But there was nothing fancy about it. My family, we didn't have any money, but then that's relative. When you say we didn't have any money, that could be many different things. But so the point is coming to New York and start working with these wealthy people. And I think most agents would understand what I'm trying to say here. Like, and I'm not complaining, I have a great life. I have financial means now. But in the beginning, you feel so classless in a way compared to your clients. And at the same time, you try to swim along them because they don't. You kind of have to talk. And
Right.
the point is, I saw these amazing art collections, like the most incredible in the world. And I felt like I can never, the dream was too big. Like I couldn't even dream it. Like,
What are some of your best pieces that you love? And they don't have to be the most expensive, but
I love all my pieces. I have over
Yeah.
100 pieces now.
Yeah.
I started 3 years ago. I find it very inspiring. Obviously, that class discussion was just in the beginning. Now, I speak to them. I talk to them, the artists. They have crazy lives.
Yeah.
You know, once you get to know them, like, whoa, like my little life compared to there. I have a Picasso. I have a big Joan Mitchell, which I love. I have 3 Tracy Emin from 3 different decades, and you know she has her big show in Tate that I'm going. I have a Gerard Richter, which is major. I mean, I have a lot. I have a William de Kooning on paper, but beautiful. I had a Warhol that I sold. I started selling a little bit lately because partly I needed walls. Oh, I bought a Lee Krasner just recently. She's crazy. Anyway,
you
I've like
hang
lose
it in your
myself in these.
homes, and you have a place that you keep the additional pieces, or is it all up in?
I hate storage because I feel like it's like putting an animal in a cage, in a basement.
Yeah.
I think art is like, you're supposed to enjoy it, look at it. And I really enjoy it. I mean, I always felt on the outside, I think, of the art discussion. Like, I felt like at these dinners, there was a language and I didn't understand. And now I understand it. It's very, I go on these art trips. I'm part of some museums, and it happens to be really good for real estate too, as you know, because it's the same. It just happens to be. It's a great conversation, and like you really, they kind of like, once again, they look at you a little differently.
Yeah.
When
You're
say,
one of them. Yeah.
Well, I'm not one of them like that way, but yeah, I do.
You've earned
It's
it.
fascinating, and they give me these artists. It sounds so like I don't care what people think about me, but they give me life. They really do. There is something magic about certain paintings.
Yeah.
They like exude this energy. It's kind of scary. It's actually like, what is this? Black magic? I don't know. It's like something about. And in my bedroom in New York, I have like 25 paintings on one wall. Like
Yeah.
and the energy that like projects from that wall to me is pretty wild.
Yeah. We'd love to get a picture of that and put that up.
No.
Okay. So no picture. You're also very into fitness, very into health.
I'm not
wellness.
that much into fitness. I'm just very vain and a little bit like
He's into fitness.
demanding validation at all times. So
Yeah.
I post a lot about fitness.
Have you always? Is this a?
Yeah, I've always been, because I can't afford to feel unhealthy or look unhealthy. Like I can't. It's just like
Right.
Yeah. It's a daily. I'm like an athlete in real estate.
Yeah.
And now I have children, and it's like, and I also feel like I'm happy in my life. I want this to last forever. That sounds, that song by Aha from Norway. They call Aha. Do you remember them? Can you play that? Forever Young. I want to live to 150, and then people laugh at me. Like, what do you mean?
It's
I said, I
possible
really
these
do.
days. Yeah, it's
I
possible.
really do. I'm turning 49 in a month, and I feel better than I've ever felt. It could be the green tea.
The green tea.
It could be Miami. It could be
Working out.
kids.
Yeah.
It could be the peptides. I don't know. It could be
What
many
else?
different things.
Peptides. Stem cells. I saw that
I've
you were
done
doing.
stem cells 5 times. We'll see if I turn green. The Hulk. People say I get taller. I don't know.
Are you doing sauna? Are you doing hyperbaric chamber, oxygen?
I do red light sauna almost every day. I have one at home.
Yeah.
I have it at the gym. I do a lot of things. But I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. And you just know at this age when something's right. When your body feels right, you feel light, you're like almost floating. You're feeling heavy. We have this word in Swedish. I don't know if we have it in English. It's called ren. I guess it kind of means like pure or clean, like somewhere in between, because clean sounds like a little sterile. Pure sounds like too spiritual, but it's a physical, spiritual word that when you feel ren, like that must be the goal almost of life. When you like, brain,
Ren.
body.
You feel clear. You feel
Clear is also a
peaceful?
good word.
Yeah.
No, but it's also peaceful. Is not physical enough.
Okay.
Ren is more like, so when you eat clean, you get a good night's sleep, you work out, you do the infrared cold plunge.
Yeah.
There's a feeling that's priceless.
Yeah.
And it starts like here, and it doesn't have to do with money. I mean, listen, if you can afford a red light sauna at home, that helps, of course. But we can all achieve that, and I think that is that's the goal. And going back to like work balance, starting your own company, pushing yourself too hard, you cannot feel ren.
Right. That's right. And no matter how much success, wealth, financial success, money, art, collections, health is really the core of everything. If we don't have our health, we don't.
Yeah, health is wealth.
Fredrik,
Yes.
what advice?
Yes.
And I always ask this question because we have a lot of listeners interested in your success story.
Yes.
If you're an agent, you're in any part of your career, what should people be focused on to go to the next level, to get to the very top of the industry like you have? What words of advice in 2026? would
Yeah.
you say that they need to focus on? Maybe 2 or 3 things.
I mean, that's the ultimate question, right? And there's many different ways to answer it. I mean, in real estate, I think the obvious one is to not try to copy anyone else. So it's hard to like even get me to give them an advice. But if anything, look within and really
Yeah.
try to look. I always give this example. When I first to New York, I was nervous and inexperienced, and I didn't have any Rolodex. So I was trying to like come up with this, not persona, but like, who are the big agents? Why are they so big? Like I try to not copy them, and that was obviously a mistake because I already had myself. And I think the same thing that makes you feel outside the room is the same reason why the room is going to remember you. It's easier said than done, but you have to stay true to yourself. And if anything, if you're a minority or you're crazy long legs like me, whatever it is, just like own it.
Yeah.
And so that's the first thing, to instill some confidence in people that feel like they're on the outside.
Right.
Because the most successful people that I know, they're not boring. They're not like anybody else. And you know, you can't be loved by everybody, but the people that do love you, they at least love you for you, and you're not a fabrication of some vision of success. The second thing is to work, like I said, with a family or a team. You cannot learn this business yourself. If you try, you're going to lose a lot of years, like I tried in the beginning until I started my team. 1 + 1 is 5, I would say, in real estate. Sharing information and lifting each other up.
Yeah.
So, I'll find somebody you really want to work with or a team, and then bring them coffee or green tea or work for free. Just like be a sponge and learn. There's no school that can teach you real estate, right? So I think those are my 2 main, and then the problem I think today, and I'm in fault because the show made it look maybe a little easier than it is. It takes like 5 years,
Yeah.
right?
At least 5.
It's like learning French. I mean, not that I would ever have the patience to learn that, but it takes 5 years. No, it's like the same thing. You have to, let's say, max out your credit card, like be a bartender at night, like go get your loan from your parents. Like you are not going to make the money you want the first year. I mean, you can go into rentals and try to survive, but then you're not going to get to the top because you chose the wrong path. No offense to any rental brokers. So make the investment, pick a category, hopefully luxury real estate, hopefully new development.
Yeah.
Find a team, the top team in the country or in your city, your local market. Join them, not expecting to make money, but learn.
Yeah.
Then it's going to take a little slower in the beginning, but then your trajectory is endless. Like you can just, woo.
So to recap, be authentic,
Don't have to pee.
be yourself. If you're different, use that as a strength and to your advantage to stand out.
Yeah.
Work with the team.
Yep.
Real estate is a team sport.
Yeah.
It's not an individual sport. You'll go further, you go farther. And the last thing you said is you have to put in the time. You have to put in the time. There's no shortcut. It's a long game.
You cannot post on social and like think that, you can't be a real estate influencer. I never seen a real estate influencer make money.
Right.
In fact, I don't even know, this is a big statement, I don't even know what social media does for a real estate agent in that way anymore. Because it's like everybody has an account. So if you're gonna do social media, you got to do something very different. Like you got to once again go back to your true do something very different. That you don't have to make everybody happy. Just like the few people that will love you will become your clients because you're authentic. I'm not an expert in social media. I just try to mix it all up. My kids, my travels, my gym, my record
Your work
breaking.
ethic.
Yeah, I'm
knowing the numbers, knowing the data.
And also, I think because I was on reality TV for 11 years, I think the vanity component got fulfilled. And then I felt like I was overexposed anyway. So now I should have a strategy maybe. I should have a consultant to tell me what to post. But I don't know. We have some agents on our team that contradicts my statement just now, that met some of the biggest clients in the world from Instagram
social media,
and made millions of dollars in commissions because of Instagram.
Yeah. So, have a TV show. Have a TV show.
Well,
you can do that.
go after the TV show.
Go after the TV show.
Yeah.
Pitch them. Go big.
I believe this is maybe this is what I should have said about young. I believe in manifestation. I mean, there's thousands of books written about this, The Secret, those kind of books. But I believe if you visualize it and you actually, but the trick is obviously you have to believe that it already happened.
Mm-hmm.
When I lived in Sweden, in Stockholm, I was young and I was frustrated with my life. I felt stuck after the internet company, and I was like, I want to move to New York and be successful. So I envisioned myself, and this sounds like Patrick Bateman, this sounds like American Psycho maybe, but I envisioned myself walking through Central Park in the fog with like back slick hair, like longer hair, the big like tweed coat or something. It was fall in my manifestation, and the fog like vibrating over the grass there in the park. And I was crossing, must have been from Upper West Side to like the Apple Store on the southeast side of the park. And I just like every night I went to bed, I envisioned that. And I felt it, like I am there. And then later, I don't live on Upper West Side, but I feel like I've done that walk in a very similar
visualization, affirmations, you hear it from so many people at the top. It is powerful.
Works. It works.
Success begins and ends
and if you believe
mind.
in quantum physics and that whole field, like supposedly we live in multiple dimensions at the same time, and we can like transfer ourselves to different timelines, and there's unlimited parallel versions of ourselves. So maybe there's something about the brain and its power to travel.
I love it. Fredrik, where can people connect with you? Where can they find you online?
In Starbucks in the line buying green tea.
Or they can find Kayla buying the green tea.
Or they can come to our new project that we have together. Are you going to say something? I signed so many NDAs with you. I cannot say anything to anybody about our project. But are you going to say this? Would be a good launch pad for our future, like record-breaking, iconic building.
So Prosper Group, we are launching a project soon here in Brickell, in Miami, and we've assembled one of the very best teams across the board from construction, design, architecture,
and sales.
And so we also look for the very best people to work with, and we've partnered, we've signed with Fredrik Eklund and his team, and we're super excited to launch with you guys.
This project, guys, more soon, coming soon. It's going to be amazing.
Amazing, Fredrik. Yeah. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy I came, and it was fun. I was nervous about because I feel like a podcast is so naked. There's like so much vulnerability that comes out, and I feel like I had fun. So thank you.
Awesome.